Paul LePage, Republican, of course. He's
this guy's a piece of work.
giant man, baby. Let me tell you. He threatened this past Tuesday to raise the voting age in his state to 21 years old after lawmakers overrode his veto on legislation that increased the age limit to buy tobacco products. So he's mad that he didn't get his way, and he's threatening to raise the voting age to 21, even though it's against the Constitution.
Yeah. Can't do that.
26th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1971, says that all citizens 18 and older can vote. That's pretty much it. So it's like,
let's be honest here. The only amendment to the Constitution that matters is the second. Everything else is negotiable at best. Come on, guys.
Oh, don't you just love the there's a Twitter person out there right now. I can't remember what like Yep, You're Racist or something like that. That's actually doxing all of the people that showed up at the alt-right thing that happened this weekend.
Every single picture they can find.
They're combing over it,
linking those people to the real names.
And people get
their names and
their
everything they can.
So LePage is fuming over this new measure that was passed last week. He said he would introduce 2 bills in January, which would raise the voting age for voting and military service to 21 in Maine.
Right, because the trouble the military is having is they just got too many of these damn teenagers going over there and doing their jobs. And if they just got to 21 years old, they wouldn't have time to figure out that they're transgender. Am I right?
The amazing thing for me is that, like, most of the people that I have seen signed up for any of the armed forces tend to be like in that 16 to like 20 age range where they haven't quite figured out what they're doing in life, whether they're going to be going to college or not. And some of them just make the decision because recruiters are legally allowed to lie to you about stuff.
Right. And I actually have a story about that, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We don't at all.
Because I hate Paul LePage.
So I got divorced at a really young age. I was divorced at 22.
Oh, wow.
And I was morbidly depressed because, of course, I was. And a young recruiter saw that and decided to use it to their advantage. And they actually coached me the whole time after I told them about like things that happened in my past. Like this guy would call me and say, now, when they ask you if you've ever been in the hospital, you say no, right? Like the whole thing is like this interrogation of we're going to get you through this as long as you lie. And then the whole MEPS program is saying now if you get caught lying you can get put in jail, and I have a feeling it's designed that way so that they find people who won't talk in the torture chamber, but that could just be me.
Did you ever get the experience of going through the MEPS?
I went through MEPS and I was in line to swear in when I went, I don't think I should do this. So I'm kind of glad in retrospect because turns out I would have been banned from it by now.
I didn't love the duck walk. I didn't love the having to piss in front of somebody else that was watching you the whole time. I thought it was hilarious in hindsight. And the time I was doing it was terrible. But in hindsight, having to like bend over and spread them in front of a officer was was kind of funny because you're like, hey, look at my brown eye. It's winking at you.
When has there ever been a more appropriate use of the clip of David Chappelle saying, spread your cheeks and lift your sack?
Oh, man, that's just the very beginning of them dehumanizing you.
It's funny because the only other time you're going to experience that is when it's completely involuntary.
Or you're paying
and they're
for
checking
it.
You in.
Oh.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, and if you're getting paid for it, yeah, that's a different story. But
my asshole can tell tales.
when they're checking you into the prison,
yeah,
that's
no, thank you.
That's an experience.
No, thank you. So anyway, he's really pissed off because he wants people to be able to have to be 21 to buy cigarettes, which I think is just fucking dumb.
It's dumb.
Now look, I'm not a fan of cigarettes. I'm not a fan of smoking. I'm not going to shit on anybody that decides to do it at the same time because look, we're all adults. At 18, I think if you're old enough to go serve the country, you should be able to have a beer and smoke if you want to.
This is true. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's your body. But fuck it up all you want. That's
As long as you don't get it tattooed or, get a gender transition surgery. Not that I would have any personal vested interest in that second one.
Well,
the
first rule, they've gone lax on that one, actually. You can have a lot
Really?
more tattoos now. Yeah.
You can.
You can actually have it below, like, at the cuff line now. So I have a friend that has a couple of them, like, right around his wrist and doesn't catch shit for it. So it's kind of nice that they've grown up a bit.
They have.
But not quite there yet.
Still some jobs haven't.
Yeah.
Some jobs haven't. Yeah.
I had my first interview post-transition the other day, and people kept saying, like, you should really cover your tattoos. And I go,
why?
It's August, and they're up to my wrist. I'm not wearing a winter dress because people at the bookstore might be scared by my book references on my arms.
Look, it's 2017. If they've got a problem with tattoos, I don't think I'd be happy working there.
So, Senator Nate Libby, who co-sponsored the bill, became addicted to tobacco when he was 18. So, doesn't have a private stake in this whole thing at all, does he? He disagreed with the governor's comments about voting, saying that there were reasons for putting age restrictions on potentially dangerous behaviors. Which is kind of funny because in Utah you have to be 19 to buy smokes. You can be 18 and have them, but you can't buy them until you're 19.
Yeah,
which is stupid.
Cigarettes fall out of the sky. They're all yours.
I won't say that didn't happen to some people a little bit younger than me a couple of times.
Yeah, funny how that works.
It's amazing how people become your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Candyman. Let's see. He said, when the governor sent his letter calling us hypocrites, that's pretty frustrating. It's pretty common for this governor to link unrelated subjects in policy discussions. It's a pretty foolish idea. Wait a minute. It's pretty common for this governor to link unrelated subjects in policy discussions. Then he does not deserve the job.
No, this guy's like totally unstable. All you have to do is go to YouTube and Google this guy. Just put in this guy's name, and you will get a treasure trove of
bad,
batshit crazy shit.
Hey, guys, come on. I mean, just because they're pointing out the things that I actually said with, references and footnotes doesn't mean that you can take those things in context and put them together and show what I said. That's just hypocritical. It's okay for me to be hypocritical. You just can't call me that. Just like we can't call somebody with a Nazi flag a Nazi. It's just just how it works.
Oh no, that's changed.
There's many sides to that issue.
No,
we have to. Oh
no, Kyle.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I find it amazing that this is the kind of guy where you could come up to him with every kind of study showing that, hey, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. Well, I think black people shouldn't have jobs. Like, what? Wait, what? Those things are not related to each other. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, I have an agenda. I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He should really, everybody should send him in his state that's like under 18, should go out and buy a copy of Thank You for Smoking and send it to him.
That's a brilliant movie.
That's a brilliant
love
movie.
that movie.
He wouldn't get the joke.
No, he would just fly right the fuck over his head. He's like, wait a minute, so it's bad? I'm like, no, you missed the... God damn it.
Galaxy.